Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's June 6th, 2017. Today is the 49-year anniversary of the death of Robert Kennedy, who was campaigning for president. He was shot late June 5th, died 1:44 in the morning, June 6th, 1968. At the end of this video, I'm going to again teach about the deaths of RFK and JFK by the numbers and the parallels between those two. But first, I want to talk about the headline news. The James Comey hearing that will begin this Thursday, June 8th. 6/8, kind of like 68, the way we write it in the U.S. Again, it was Bobby Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated in 68. So, James Comey giving his testimony beginning June 8th. And as I've been teaching since 2013, the news in this world, it is planned, it is coordinated, it is agenda-oriented, and it is always contrived. This video is dedicated to all of the people in the world who are caught up in the Donald Trump drama. Donald Trump is an actor, a stooge, someone who was selected, not elected, as is true of all New World Order leaders, which at this day and age are most nations. Donald Trump, every single day, you can see that he is nothing more than an actor by knowing the language of gematria. And just to show you how ridiculous this is, I'm going to show you why James Comey's testimony begins June 8th. This has everything to do with the character that we knew Donald Trump as from the show The Apprentice, the start date of June 8th. Plus, there's a deeper meaning, which we'll get to when we talk about JFK and RFK. But understand this. To get this information, to see the riddles that are put before us, it's simple. Look at how ridiculous this is. I'm going to ask Google, the web search engine that's tracking all of us. I'm going to ask it, how tall is James Comey? And, what is nice about Google is it makes things easy. This man is 6'8", which is very tall. That's got to be in the top 99 percentile for humanity. And think about it. His testimony is beginning June 8th. You could say, okay, that's possibly a coincidence. It's height, the date. You got to do better than that. I would agree. This is where knowing the language of gematria comes in. The full name of Donald Trump is Donald John Trump, 68. The show we know him from is The Apprentice, where his hit line was, "You're fired." You're fired, he would say. And this testimony, of course, says Comey hearing is shaping up to be a humdinger. This is about how he was fired by Trump. James Comey is going to give his side of the story, why Mr. Comey was fired by the comb-over, all part of the mocking. Now look, The Apprentice, it also has this reverse ordinal gematria of 211, which is the 47th prime number. Remember, when you write out Trump, it sums to 47. The night of the selection, he was in the 47-story Midtown Hilton Hotel. Remember further, the word president equals 47. So does White House. So does government. So does authority. Very special number. Barack Obama, the last president, became president at age 47. JFK became president Bill Clinton, it was Bill Clinton who became president 211 days before his 47th birthday. You go out throughout history, there's a lot of 47 with the presidency. So The Apprentice, 211, the 47th prime connecting to Trump. Remember, in this language, reflections of each other are just as important. 4774. The name Comey equals 74. We have Comey versus the comb-over Trump. Remember, U.S. president equals 147, just like President of the United States equals 147. And just in case you're new here, I didn't mean to put that arrow up there. I was just typing too fast. I do all of this live. U.S. president is 147. This only reads, if I put numbers up here, it won't make any, well, the Q made a difference, but all it's calculating are the letter values, just so you know that. So, anyhow, 147, this special number, Donald Trump fired James Comey on his 147th day of being 56 years old. Again, Washington, D.C. also has this gematria of 56. But anyway, it's June 8th, 6/8, that the 6'8" James Comey going to give his testimony against Donald John Trump 68, the Apprentice 68. I just said that reflections of each other are important. So again, the Apprentice is 68, just like Donald John Trump. The reflection of 68 is 86, and I call that the symbol number. Symbols 86, triangle spelled correctly is 86, pyramid is 86, republic 86. We live in a republic, a democratic republic. Remember, Donald Trump lost the popular vote, but because of the Electoral College, which is part of preserving the republic, he won. And all of this news is meant to program us who are called citizen, right? If you learn this language of gematria, everything is a show by the numbers undeniably. And again, reflections of each other. George Washington, 187. Washington, D.C., 187. Before it was Washington, D.C., it was the Catholic colony ran by the Jesuits, which is the Society of Jesus, gematria of 187. Also, in D.C., the ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. George Washington was a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. Donald Trump had his GOP convention July 18th, 18/7, 187 days before Inauguration Day. In the Torah, which is where Kabbalah comes from. Kabbalah, the belief that God created the world with language. When God merged the letter with the number, the Kabbalah code comes from the Torah, which is 187 chapters. This number, not arbitrary. Again, Albert Pike, the Kabbalah in Morals and Dogma. Albert Pike, the 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason with the statue in D.C., says that Masonry owes all thanks to Kabbalah, this belief about language with letters and numbers. Okay, now the headline. As is always the case, CNN codes out their headlines. So let's see what they got here. Okay, right away, 197, that's the 45th prime number. Donald Trump, the winner of the 45th presidential election, announced as the 45th president on the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, 45. Also in this headline, 190, Synagogue of Satan, without the is 190. Donald Trump, they jokingly call him the first Jewish president. 404. Boom. 404 verses in Revelation where the warnings are trumpets. Trumpets. The Trumpence ticket. 404 verses. How about Make America Great Again? 404. The reflection. And I might be stumped with the last one. 595, it's the 34th triangular number. 139 is the 34th prime. 139 a number of Freemasonry. 59 has to do with killing. The name John F. Kennedy has the gematria of 59. Freemasonry, I guess, also has gematria of 59. Remember, King James died at age 58, 84 days before his 59th birthday. King James, the Freemason king, has a lot to do with the colonization of America. What else is curious about this line? How about the use of the word humdinger? You think they put something in there with humdinger? They used to do this all the time with Obama. Humdinger. Okay, so humdinger has gematria of 144 as well as 45, like Trump, the 45th president. I think actor also. No, I'm mistaken about that. But anyhow, humdinger, 144, just like the hit line, "You're fired." We saw Donald Trump meeting with the Jesuit Pope. Donald Trump's birthday to the Jesuits, or the Pope's birthday, is 187 days. He met with the Jesuit Pope on the 144th day of the year. We just saw Bill O'Reilly get fired by Fox News 144 days after his birthday, the same day he was meeting with the Pope. We saw John Boehner, the Jesuit, resign after meeting with the Pope. Jeb Bush resigned from the campaign after meeting with the Pope. Bill O'Reilly, Donald Trump on the 144th day, Mr. You're fired. This is why they do it. This is how they code out the stories. And I'm just doing this in real time, you guys, you know. This is how it is every single day. You learn this language of gematria, you see through what is being coded. This is a way of doing things. This is the way the media operates every single day. James Comey being lined up for June 8th, not coincidental. You know, people need to ask, where do the coincidences end? Where do they end? So now about RFK and JFK. I want you to notice the initials, RFK 35 and 46. JFK was the 35th president and died at age 46. Notice the gematria of Catholic, 35 and 46. JFK, the only Catholic president. JFK died on the first day of Sagittarius. Sagittarius has gematria of 144 and 153, just like Jesuit order. He died in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. So 144. A number connected to time and killing in Jewish gematria. Time 144, killer 144. Bobby Kennedy died at 1:44 in the morning. JFK was the last presidential assassination. The first ever in the history books was Abraham Lincoln, who was shot April 14th and died early April 15th. By the numbers. Just in case you're new here, you should know I have several videos on the death of Lincoln and Kennedy. I just like to review because I know people don't go back and watch my videos, so I got to give it to you fresh. Today we're on the anniversary of the death of RFK. Now let me show you what's up with JFK. JFK has the gematria of 27, fateful number. It's interesting how it's also 616. Some people argue that's the true number of the beast. But here's what's really up with JFK's assassination. He died in the 187th year of the nation's existence. We talked about 187. That's how we're bringing it all together. He died in the 187th year of the nation's existence. And for the person out there who's not good at math, who can't calculate from July 4th, 1776 to November 22nd, 1963, I'll do it for you. He died November 22nd, 187 years, 4 months, and 18 days. Now, with regards to him dying on 11/22, this is where your Sumerian gematria comes in, which is the alphabetic order, 187 times 6, 11/22. And notice also the 52 and 110. His body was flown back to Washington, D.C. right away, land of the president, which has gematria of 52 and 110. Here's where we'll close. Washington, gematria 49. Donald J. Trump, he calls himself as the author, 49. Notice it's also 68 that way, just like Donald John Trump, and his testimony begins June 8th. But anyway, today's date, and on this calculator, if you just punch in a date and come down here, it'll show you the different numerology combinations for the date. Today's date has 2 connections to 49, the day of this news about the humdinger for Trump. You see? It's all a show. It's a big puppet show, by the numbers, every single day. And speaking of 68 and going back to 1968, it's interesting that from the assassination of, or the start of the nation to the assassination of JFK was also 68,440 days. Let's not forget that JFK was the 44th term president. He was the 35th president, but some presidents have 2 terms. If you write out 44, it sums to 144. He died on the first day of Sagittarius. His brother died at 1:44 in the morning. Martin Luther King Jr. also died on April 4th. His assassin would die 30 years later in prison on a date with 144 numerology. What do you think, Truth Seeker? Is the coincidence chain broken? Because that's the chain I'm trying to break. That's the chain I'm trying to break with this work. I'm sick of everyone or everybody saying that everything's a coincidence. We got to throw away that word. That word's been taught to us. It's been programmed into us. So we dismiss the truth. This isn't a coincidence. George Washington, 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, not really the first president of the nation, but he's credited so in the history books. 74. What's this nation's date of independence? Holiday 74? How about Independence Day? 74. Do you know what shouldn't be Independence Day? It should not be July 4th. It should not be July 4th because we declared our independence as a nation on July 2nd, 1776. Did you know that? It's true. If you don't believe me, look it up. We declared our independence July 2nd, but we celebrated 74. And you know why? Because this nation was founded by Freemasons and Jewish bankers who practice this occult knowledge that is known as gematria. And I hope that you're seeing each of these things that I type in is 74. Holiday 74, Independence Day 74, George Washington 74, English 74, gematria 74, Masonic 74, all of these things. Oh, I forget. I always forget the right ways to spell these words. There it is. Kabbalistic. Kabbalistic. That's what this is. This is the Kabbalistic way of life. 74. That's the nice thing about gematria too. If you remember the correct spelling and what the numbers behind it, you can, and you know words like this where it's like, does that have one L, two L's? You can figure out what the right way is back. Gematria got all sorts of relevance. This is a thinking man's game. And I'm trying to make people thinkers. Got to put away that belief mentality and start thinking. But anyway, there it is. From Donald Trump and John Comey to JFK. There's a few more things I could tell you, but that's what my channel's for. I got thousands of videos on these subjects. Whatever I'd say now, it's all been covered before. There's so many more layers to this topic. You know, what I just gave you was the tip of the iceberg. And you know what? I might have missed something huge too. If I forgot to say so, Robert Kennedy died on June 6th. He was shot on the 156th day of the year, June 5th. You see how perfect that is? And again, his assassin was Sirhan Sirhan. Sirhan has the same gematria as federal, 138, just like Donald Trump. Interesting. Remember when Melania was the first lady to wear baby blue? Baby blue since Melania, or not Melania. Melania was the first woman to wear baby blue since Jackie Kennedy Inauguration Day. Baby blue also 47. Talked about that. But look at this. The word death, 25. Trump, 25. Pence, 25. Comey, 25. They're saying the 25th Amendment could be used to remove Trump from office by Pence and the Congress. All of these narratives, it doesn't mean that Donald Trump will be shot or that he'll be removed by the 25th Amendment, but if you just look at the overall narrative, what it is communicating is his presidency is staged to end prematurely, just like John F. Kennedy's was, by the numbers. And one more thing about John F. Kennedy. The Comey firing was May 9th. May 9th. The anniversary of the Richard Nixon impeachment. Richard Nixon, 74, 137, 187, all numbers we talked about. And remember, if you just do Richard, it's 43. The firing was on the 43-year anniversary of the impeachment hearing starting for Nixon, May 9th, 1974. That's what year Richard Nixon got impeached, 74. Remember, it was over wiretapping. Donald Trump made the wiretap allegations. And what 74 has to do with is crucifixion. Jesus 74, cross 74. There's 74 mentions in the gospel, or in the New Testament, excuse me, of the stake and the crucifix. 74 mentions. Jesus 74, gospel 74, cross 74, Messiah 74. Out of the 50 states, only one sums to 74, the 33rd state, Oregon. You know? So anyway, truth seeker, please get this information to your friends and family. This puppet show's got to end. Until next time.